The market is up over 1,500 points in 2 days. Is the worst of the bear market over? Find out in this market update for October 6th, 2022. Let's go. Hello, everybody. It is Jeremy Whaley here from Trade Maestro. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic today. As we got a little market update for October 6th, 2022. That is technically tomorrow, depending on when you're seeing this. It might be today. Anyway, let's get into it. Market's up over 1,500 points first 3 days of the week. Monday and Tuesday, pretty big days. Wednesday was kind of a mediocre day, actually ended up down just a scotch there. So the big question is the worst of the market over? I mean, all of September, some of the worst days we've seen, obviously. And historically, October is pretty rough. In fact, October historically is one of the most bearish months of the year, September and October combined. And so we're coming into those days where it's typically very, very bearish. What do you think the future is going to be here? Well, let's take a look over here at the charts, and let's take this thing full screen if I can get the right buttons pushed here. And what you're looking at here is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I'm going to scoot in just a little bit so you can see kind of where we are. You can see these last couple of candlesticks as we had some very bullish bounces in here. And then on Wednesday, we actually ended the day down 42 points, a whopping 42 points. Now, you may be wondering, why is it a green candlestick if we're down 42 points? You ever thought about that before? Well, here's why. A lot of people don't realize this, but candlesticks actually determine the color based on the close of the day relative to the open of the day. So in this case, the trade actually opened very low. And one point today, we were down several hundred points, and then it rallied, and we closed higher than we opened, but it was still lower than yesterday. So when you look at the end of day, like the ticker that you see over on the right side over here, that's today's close versus yesterday's close, but the candlestick is today's close versus today's open. That's why you end up with a green candle on a red day. All right, a lot of people don't realize that. All right, so let's get in here. Let's take a look here and see what we've got going on. Bear trend has essentially been continuing, but the last couple of trading sessions here, really big bounce. And what I'm going to relate this to is I'm going to relate it to the bounce that we had in mid-September here, actually kind of the early part of September. If you looked down here at your stochastics, you'll notice that we looked very similar. We kind of bounced for about 4 trading sessions there. Some people even thought maybe the bulls were back, and we got just barely out of oversold, and the bears returned with a vengeance. Well, that's essentially what we've got going on over here. We just needed to ease that oversold just a little bit, and that's what we've done here. We've eased it up, and I would guess if not in the next 2 trading sessions, by the first part of next week, I would guess that the bears will be back in control. I don't think we're going to see a big bounce out of this. Maybe I'm wrong. It happened once or twice before, but I think that this bear market is ready to rip itself out and just keep roaring. Now, I want to share something with you that I don't share very often because, well, especially for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, you don't really have access to this. So I don't normally share it, and now I can't seem to find it. Where is it? There it is. This is an indicator that I created called the JMAC. It's based on the MACD and kind of some other stuff that we've done, but I just kind of wanted to show it to you. In this context on a daily chart, it doesn't look very remarkable. In fact, it kind of looks like it's maybe trending back in an upward direction here. But this is a really unique picture that we've got. I'm actually going to come over here and take a look at our weekly chart for this, okay? So, oh, I just got rid of it. What did I do? Push the right buttons, Jeremy. Here we go. This is actually the same chart on a weekly chart, and I want to show you that it's just picking up steam. And this is actually significant for us because you notice that we're still not to the oversold levels that we were at whenever we were just a month ago. or yeah, well, roughly a month ago, back in June. So month, depending on which calendar you're on, but just a few months ago, back in June, we were substantially more oversold, and you'll notice that we're actually putting in lower lows here already. So on a weekly chart, we're definitely, our stochastics is not oversold yet. Our JMAC is far from oversold, and we're still putting in new lower lows. Another reason I just don't think that this bearish swing this particular time is done. And then I've got another unique view on this same indicator that I thought I would share with you. It's really unique. I was just looking at this. I don't look at monthly charts very often. This is a monthly chart. But if you take a look here, you'll notice that we actually are just 2 sessions into this. That means 2 months into this bearish signal. Well, I'm going to go back in time a little bit and show you some stuff. In 2020 was the last time we had a bearish signal on this chart. And of course, that was the COVID scare, okay? Well, that was a unique bear market because COVID was kind of a lot like a hurricane where, you know, we just had some hurricanes in Florida, right? And what happens? Well, you board everything up, you shut everything down, and then when the hurricane's done, you open everything back up, and, you know, there's some destruction, but business kind of gets back to normal relatively quickly. That's the way COVID was. They shut everything down in the market. So you had this bearish market, but it was a false economic shutdown. It wasn't really real. And once they reopened everything came roaring back. So this view that you see when we come back, and we always talk about the COVID crash, it was kind of a blip on the radar because it was a big sell-off, big crash, and then everything came roaring back. All right, well, let's go back in time. The previous time that we had a bearish signal in this monthly chart was actually in 2016 during some pretty bearish motion that was part of a sideways consolidation, but it was really volatile at the time if you happen to have been trading then. And then you come back to 2008, and of course that's what it looked like in 2008. And then before that, you have to go all the way back to 2001, 2001, 2002, and 2003. Why is this significant? Here's why it's significant. The only time that we really get bearish signals on this indicator is on a monthly chart, is in truly bearish markets, okay? We had a couple of outliers here. We had the COVID outlier, and then the 2016, that was actually a pretty bearish market. It was very volatile, but it wasn't a bear trend market. It was very volatile, a lot of down days, but not a bear trend. The last major bear trend, 2008, that's the one that I have connected this to all along, and you can see how much bearishness is still to come if we're anywhere close to that. So I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing to look at. And there's another thing I want to draw your attention to for this week's update that I think is also unique. A lot of people are kind of, blowing their... what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. They're blowing their horns that everything's done, that the bear market's over. And they're looking at these big days because if you look at the numbers on this, we had almost, I got to get my glasses. I can't see. The numbers get too small here. Sorry about that. 765 points, which was 2.6% on Monday. And then the next day was 825 points, which is 2.8%. People think those are really, really big numbers. Well, I want to go back in time to 2008. I do this pretty often for this particular bear market, and I just want to show you where I think we are. If you watched last week's update, you remember that I made the connection that we're somewhere over here in the model. And if we really tie this in, I think we're about right here because you see after we put in a low, we bounced a little bit, put in a new low, and then what did we have? We had huge bullish counter moves. This is back on a daily chart, by the way. Huge. Now, I don't know if you can see those candles there, but let me just read them to you. After putting in that first new low there after the fourth wave, this was a 410-point day, which was a 3.86% bounce, followed by the next day, which was a 368-point day, which was a 3.5% bounce, 3.35%. Why am I saying this? What's the point of all this? Here's my point. Coming back to the current charts here, this is what I've been talking about. For those of you who've been following me, those of you who've been listening to me, giving these forecasts and giving these updates, I've been telling you that we were going to have big down days followed by really big up days. People would think that the bulls were back, and just about that time, boom, you get hit. and the bears would come roaring back. That's what we see taking place right now. I am not concerned. My bearish forecast stands. I still think the market's going substantially lower. If you're new to this, you haven't seen it before, 26,000. I'm thinking it's probably going to be at 26,000, maybe 26,500 on the Dow by the end of October. I actually think it could be sooner, but we'll just try to play it a little bit conservative here. Possibly before all is done, I think we'll be down to 18,000. That could happen by the end of October. I don't think so. I think that'll be a little bit later, probably off in November or maybe even after the first of the year. But I think there's a lot more bearishness to come here in October. So no, I am not bullish. I'm not even kind of bullish. And if you've been following my forecast very long, you know that. You know that a couple days isn't going to pop me out and change my mind here. All right, S&P 500, pretty much the same thing. Nothing major to report there. Same thing for the NASDAQ. Really nothing to report on that front either. I think I've hit everything that I needed to hit in terms of the market update. I'm trying to keep these relatively short for you, trying to keep these relatively short for you guys so that you can quickly get them and not have to watch a long video for it. I got a couple other videos I'm going to do today that I'm going to be sending out here all about the same time. I've got one on crypto and why the crypto bottom, I believe, is coming in. And then I've got another one on XRP. If you happen to be somebody that's interested in trading XRP, we've got some really, really great signals on XRP. So if that's something that you're interested in the world of crypto, then look around the channel here and watch those videos because I got some pretty interesting stuff that I'm going to share there, but I don't want this one to be too long, so I'm going to wrap it up. If you are not subscribed to this channel, get yourself subscribed so you can get all of my updates and all of my tips and tricks and the various things that we put out here. And of course, be sure to visit us over at trademaestro.com. Get yourself subscribed over there as well so that you can get access to all of our great stuff from our mailing list. All right. Thank you guys for watching this. Hope you've learned something. Hope it's been helpful for you. And until next time, happy trading. We'll talk to you soon.